This podcast is brought to you by Kiwi Design, the leader in Metaquest and VR accessories. And now you can deck out your device while supporting the podcast. The Metaquest 2 is a great headset, but do you ever feel things could be a bit more comfortable? Well, we have the solution for you. With lens protectors, controller grips, face covers, head straps, link cables, headset stands, and more, including my two personal favorites, the top version controller grips with added weight and an extended handle, and the Kiwi upgraded Elite strap. Let's be real, we've all whacked our controller. Don't be the guy messaging Oculus support for your own mistake or waiting weeks for an out-of-stock controller. Visit the link in our show notes to prepare yourself today. After visiting the link in our show notes, make sure to use the promo code RuffTalkVR at checkout, all one word, to take full advantage of your savings. And make sure to click the link in our show notes so the podcast gets credit and you help support us. Remember, whatever you need, Kiwi has you covered. Hey, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR. We're hitting you with another week of Monday morning news.
Always a favorite.
Oh yeah, and last week...
Personal favorite anyways.
Yeah, it's fun. There's the VR world is ever so moving, so fast. New hardware, new games, new updates every week. So it's no problem to find things to talk about on Monday.
Mm-mm.
Plus, it's a little free flowing,
Kind of gets to cherry pick the best of.
Yeah, exactly. There's plenty of stuff that we actually, I think, don't talk about that's kind of more minor news, but we kind of pick our favorite stories of the week.
Well, then occasionally something that you pay note to, but it's kind of minor news. And then a couple weeks later, now it's moved up to this is actual news.
Mm-hmm. More details come out about it.
There's a lot of he said, she said.
Yeah. But nonetheless, so I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe even Thursday of last week, but I feel like Wednesday. All of a sudden, out of the blue, I see Shell Games announced that the third in what I think is one of the best series in VR, I Expect You to Die. We're getting the third one, I Expect You to Die 3.
I Expect You. I wonder if it's going to have a good theme song.
Well, here's the thing. Besides being one of the best series, gameplay and story aspect-wise in VR, it also has undoubtedly the best intro songs in all of VR.
Oh, yeah. And they locked Will Wheaton for the last one. So it's are they raising their own bar and we're going to see, because based on story, I don't think it can be Will Wheaton again.
Well, check this. So this one's, the third one, and then at the end of it, because the first one was just I Expect You to Die. And then the second one was I Expect You to Die, The Spy and the Liar. Mm-hmm. And then they put out that little free 5-minute mixed reality experience last year. Just kind of showing the potential of mixed reality, but it was real small. But that was I Expect You to Die, Home Sweet Home. So they're going those little titles at the end. Mm-hmm. This one's is Cog in the Machine.
Cog in the Machine. I thought of the Jetsons right away.
Yeah, we were talking off air, just thinking of gears and just
cog manufacturer
mechanics, which to me, I instantly go, Cog in the Machine. These puzzles are gonna be
it's the
hard.
Cog in the Machine. No, dude, I'm itching. The minute I saw because you read something sometimes and you don't necessarily believe it the first time you look at it. You're like, oh, let me reread that sentence, and I'm like, they're really gonna do this, and this sounds like it's coming
this year, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's well, check this. The first I Expect You to Die came out 2016. The second one came out 2021. That's a 5-year span in between them.
Dude,
but then 2 years in between the second to the third.
Love their games. Yeah. For real. I got nothing bad to say.
I think, like I said right at the start, one of the best series in VR. I don't think I can pick up a best, but they're one of the best.
No, the graphics are good. The puzzle mechanics are always top notch. Mm-hmm.
For anybody that somehow evaded this game,
the story's usually pretty damn good, especially the last one. That was probably
you like I think I don't know which one's puzzles I liked more, the first or the second, but I think the second one's story was better. I agree. Not that the first one's story was bad at all. We actually we were late to the series and we played them both back to back. And the second one, for a game that came out 2016 or when it first came out, graphically, it still holds up today. The first one in the series.
Oh, yeah.
And gameplay-wise and everything.
No joke. If you like puzzle games, that's the one.
I'd say it kind of sets
the best intro, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like I said, intro music, they take the cake.
Or I was saying intro to puzzle games in VR.
Okay. Yeah. I could totally agree with that. Because
you're getting good quality visuals, good real quality sound, janky mechanics.
Mm-hmm. Everything works
You're
good.
coming out of the gate but again, it's Shell Games.
I think they set the
Expect nothing else.
I think they set the standard for escape room games in VR. I expect you to die.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is.
For that particular style, yeah. Because you're really getting, a dozen escape rooms, like you said.
Some of them
Each one is its own. And as it says, they expect you to die. And you will die.
Yeah, if anybody somehow managed to evade this game, it's exactly what we said. It's a puzzle escape room game. Pretty straightforward. Each level is like a different escape room. But
dude, you're a spy.
Yeah, you're a spy. It's James,
on,
007, old school spy movie-esque.
Especially, the last one with the theme music and all that. Even the
Spy
intro.
and the Liar. That was the name of the game, The Spy and the Liar.
Felt like you were going to be in a James Bond movie.
But every time you fail in this game, it's not like a lot of puzzle games where like, oh, you go to do something, it didn't work, now just try something else. Nothing, nothing happened. And this, if you do the wrong thing or don't do it fast enough or just 1,000 different variables, you can, and I promise you will.
Yeah,
You'll die, and then you start over.
Yeah,
you figure it out.
There's no save point from your... But no, it's one of the most rewarding feelings, too, with some of the puzzles that were like wicked hard. When you finally figure it out, it's like, come on, this was good.
Well, I remember the first one started easy to harder, and then the second one kind of left off in difficulty where the first one ended.
First one was in the car, right?
I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah.
That intro to the game, where that first level of you being in the car is...
Dude, you have no clue what to do.
Oh, that sold me on the game so much.
It's not like they walked you through it.
No,
like, do this. No, you open the glove box and boom, okay.
Sets the tone for
Don't do that.
the game so well.
And then a lot of them
that
that have
level.
the certain sequences, you have to do them in that order, so you can't.
Or time-based, like I said. Ooh, I'm with you, man. I'm so excited for this game.
I'm like a rabid dog waiting for that one.
Yeah. Well, dude, 2023 is off to a mad start with releases, announcements.
Dude.
Our end of the year awards is going to be tough. Red Matter won Game of the Year last year for us.
Yeah, but I don't think they're dropping
another one so fast. No,
year,
I mean, what I was going to say, I think we're seeing a candidate announced already.
Well, here's what's crazy. I haven't even played.
I know it's going to be. I know it's going to be a nominee.
It's probably going to be a nominee for Best Puzzle Game of the Year.
Well, you said it yourself earlier. It's Shell Games.
Yeah,
Shell Games delivers.
They've set their own. They've raised their own bar. I don't think the consumer has or like fluffed it up. It legit. They keep raising it. So I expect nothing less than what they offered in the last one. And we're talking professional actors and high quality Hollywood sounds,
amazing voice acting,
original puzzles
original soundtrack.
Yep. So it's like, that's their minimum bar to me.
No,
So,
I agree with you. I'm foaming at the mouth. I'm so excited. I'm white knuckling it for it.
just like if Red Matter 3 gets announced, you bet your ass it has to be better than the last. It has to be, or else it's going to be a consumer letdown. So, but I'll give it to Shell. They know what they're doing, and pretty much anything they want to do, they do it, and they do it really damn good. But this particular series they do is phenomenal.
And this is coming right off of, a couple of weeks ago, we talked that they just hit 1 million units sold on Among Us so fast. It's like, oh man, this studio is rolling hard. They're hardworking. They're pumping out content. Among Us is not like they got their million units and rolled off to the sunset. They're putting out pretty good pace of updates.
I think they're the updates that they've really been working on or continue to work on are the fan based.
They're really listening to feedback.
Yeah, whatever that top 10 biggest issues or concerns are, those are the ones I see them going after pretty hard.
Yeah, say it all the time. Shell Games, Resolution Games, Vertigo, Fast Travel. That's our AAA studio. So this to me, this is a AAA
Mighty
game.
Coconut.
The Mighty Coconut. Yeah, this is a AAA VR game to me being announced. Like, I'm so freaking excited for this.
Fuck yeah. Dude, how's this? Before you move on.
I could talk about this one for an hour in anticipation.
One could say that, I don't know how they're not considered AAA, but you look at the quote unquote AAA studios that have come into VR and they have fallen flat on their face. Not that they didn't make a decent product, but just, when you're the studio of that kind of power and magnitude, you expect really good shit.
Yeah.
And I've yet to see one come into VR and really hammer it.
Well, that's why I hold true to my statement, and even in terms of publishers like Fun Train, it's like, these are the AAA games. They're putting out better quality games than, like you said, when the AAA developers do come over. It's like this is the cream of the crop, you know?
Yeah, so Shell is definitely, in my opinion, a AAA VR studio.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Because they're crushing, in just my own opinion, they've crushed the past two studios I've seen come in and just be like, eh. So
yeah, any of the studios that I just listed a minute ago, if they announce any game, I'm playing it with confidence that it's going to be good, you know, just based off of reputation.
Most of the studios too, they're not one dimensional, which is really unique.
Yeah,
it's not like they go, well, I make this particular style of game. I make RPGs and nothing but. No, it's like they're not scared to have 3 or 4 different genres that totally are nothing like the other. So
Resolution and Shell, I think, are the two kings of that.
Yeah, they do a good job with it.
You don't know what their next game's going to be in terms of genre,
but it's going to be damn good.
Yeah. Ooh.
As long as it's got their stamp of approval, I'll buy it.
You know, I usually don't mind waiting till a game comes out to play it. And then there's some games I'm like, oh, I really want early access. I'll be honest, if there's any game that I want early access, it's like I'm so freaking excited for this one.
I mean, that was the first thing
you're like,
I messaged you.
You're like, can we get it?
I'm like, are we going to get some early access to this or what? Because I need this one in my life.
So huge prop to Shell Games for doing a shadow announcement. Did not see that one coming at all, especially with, you know, 2 just coming out 2 years ago. Boom, they're hard at work.
I think that's the new trendy way to announce is don't announce. Just drop the bomb one day that, you know, okay, next month.
Not, hey, we have something coming in a week. We have something coming in 3 days.
I'd love to see Ghostbusters just be like,
it's coming out
72
in 2
hours.
Weeks. Yes.
You know, like, oh my God, just get that like frenzy going.
That's a game that's supposed to come out this year and we haven't really heard anything of since the change of the year. And I'm kind of expecting that. It's just one day we're going to turn on the computer, open up the phone, and it's going to be like, Ghostbusters coming out in 2 weeks? What?
Be in the 3rd month of the year. So almost at that.
Jeez, it's going fast. It's going fast. And like I keep saying, 2023, no shortage of good releases. So kind of on to that, one of our favorite App Lab games that we reviewed last year, Guardians, which was like a mix of first-person shooter and like real-time strategy building. We fell in love with the co-op mode and the different campaign missions. A blast. You know, at the time that we reviewed it, it was announced that it was being re-released on the official store sometime, you know, next year, which is now this year, with it being republished by Fast Travel Games, you know, maintaining the original developers, but now with a big publishing team behind it like Fast Travel. And it's going to be on the official store. So I've been itching for the re-release because the original one on App Lab is, like I said, one of our favorites of last year. A polished re-release is only going to be better, right? Especially on the official store. It's going to get the love it deserves. And it's coming out on March 9th. So, dude, a couple weeks away.
Yeah, just not even 2 weeks.
That kind of goes exactly to what we were just
saying.
That's
the way to do it, though, because it's like, I mean, if you know a game's coming and it's 6 months out, 5 months out, it's like your excitement started and peaked at that 6 month mark. But if a game company is like, it's a game that you've seen pictures of and read about, and it's like, okay, it'll be here Tuesday, and it's, you know, let's say Sunday.
Take my money.
It's like, holy shit, taking pre-orders now. Oh my God. You definitely create more of a frenzy, I think, for it than then, you know, there's game delays. That's the other thing. It's like every studio in some aspect has had that happen where they want to release something. Oh, we got to wait 30 days. But if you're not telling us you have to wait 30 days, we don't know. But you tell us that next week we can own it, and you're taking pre-orders starting Monday morning at 8 a.m. Yeah, dude, come on.
Yeah, I agree.
Brilliant marketing.
You can announce your game, but say it's coming soon. Don't put any release date because then exactly what you just said too. You have the problem that you might have to delay it. So just say it's coming soon. And then when it's ready to be released, that's the time to say the first ever release date, you know?
I mean, selfishly, I hate saying this, but sometimes when games there is no early access for, it's like, you know, it's going to go one or two ways, right? We've seen what, you know, we'll say some of the bigger studios have done. When they don't, that's when you should be cautious.
Like Grid Legends is a great example. A game that we did enjoy. We gave it overall positive review, but you know, you can tell why they didn't give the early access.
Oh yeah, they didn't want, even with an NDA, they did not want anybody saying, you know, holy shit, don't buy this.
Well, I don't think, I'll maintain what I said about Grid Legends, I won't say don't buy it. It's still in the end a really fun racing game, but just know it doesn't have VR controls and know it's bad graphics.
They did update the resolution and frame rate ability, but I'll be honest, I went in and maxed it out.
Didn't really notice a difference.
Well, yeah, I did, with little white specks on my screen now, like flicker specks, and I'm like, that's
really
not
like
good.
that.
Let me see how the driving is, and it's like it seemed like the inside of the car looked a little tighter. Maybe the road looked a little, but not enough that
Justify the white spots.
not enough to justify 9 gigs of an update. 9 gigs, dude.
Dude, that game is so big. If they wanted to change the font, it's probably like 6 gigabytes.
It's stupid. 9 freaking gigs. So I expected I expected it to automatically default to better resolution, not, have it set to 75%, which is scary anyways. Like, why is it not at 100%? And why are you letting me jack it up to 125? Like, this is weird. But I did not feel like the improvement
was worth it or anything to get to rate
No,
home
I mean,
and be
honestly,
excited
it's
about.
like probably should have just left it alone and deal with your 3.6, whatever.
Well, I got excited when I saw update because I was like, ooh, maybe this is what we've been waiting for. Maybe this will be some VR controls, but no, not at all. Whatever. Is what it is. I haven't lost hope yet, though. I don't think they fully abandoned it, but let's see.
I don't know, dude. It's like the total game size right now is just, it's monsters. So, I mean, how many of those can you put in your headset? It's just, I don't know. 9 gigs just for an update is pretty freaking huge.
No doubt. But I kind of want to give a shout out to a game that we reviewed I don't even know how long ago. Time blends together so weirdly. I'll guess like 6-8 months ago. But maybe it was even longer. Vermilion. Probably in my opinion, my favorite painting app in VR. That developer, Thomas, is who we interviewed. You can go check out that episode. As well, you can go check out our previous reviews of I Expect You to Die. I forgot to mention that when we were talking about that. But he is such a talented solo developer.
He's crazy.
Vermilion.
He's crazy.
Remember we were saying when we played it, like, oh, the only thing we could want is multiplayer, but I totally understand why it doesn't have it. And, 6 months later, 3 months later, whatever, he had multiplayer. So like maybe a month ago, I saw him posting on Twitter like, oh, I really want to overlay Vermilion over some other PC VR games. So that way you can paint in Vermilion while playing a different VR game on PC VR. So example, you're in, Skyrim, and then you freaking pull out your canvas and you start painting the mountains as a background, But he was like, oh, I'm just running into too much issues. Like it'd be something, it's something that would be cool, but yeah, Fantasyland. Yeah. And then a week later he goes, all right, coming soon. I think I figured it out. And I'm like, dude, in a week? So now in the beta version of the game on PC VR, you can now use the overlay feature. So I'm curious to hear if anybody's used it. How does it actually work? Is it laggy? Is it good?
You'll start seeing a bunch of paintings popping up because I love the idea that you could actually, like, if you can full screen it, and I don't know how I've yet to do it, but and you could like be part of that scenery and be like, okay, I'll just paint the part of the scenery that my canvas is in to like continue it, whether it be a mountain or whatever it is.
And just to be clear, like I said, PC VR, so you can't do this on the Quest 2. Totally understandable. As, Quest 2 is a mobile processor. It's probably running at max with Vermilion and multiplayer and all that going on as is. But, I don't know, it's a cool option for the PC VR crowd. It's like, why not? You're chilling in a game. You're like, now you can paint without even switching anything. Just overlay it. That's freaking awesome. So, huge props to Thomas. Just a silly little thing.
Does it just because he can.
Yeah, and I just I love the fact that he's like, I'd love to, but I can't get it to work. And then a week later, he's like, all right, let's go, baby. We're good to go. Kid's a beast.
Yeah, no, he's not fooling around.
I think even Gouge of Gravity put out another update in the time since we talked about it last week. It's crazy. Those guys, that's another huge talented developer studio. But on to the next piece of news. A game that I like to be fully clear and transparent about. I don't like to BS if I have or haven't played a game. I missed this one, and it's so rave reviews. I never played Fisherman's Tale.
Yep, you're correct.
Everybody that I've heard talk about it seems to love it. So I think I have to hop into it because it was announced. The sequel, published by Vertigo Games, another one of those, AAA studios, I'd say. They're coming out with the sequel, Another Fisherman's Tale. So anybody who liked the first one, stay tuned for that. I would love to tell you how much I love the first one or all these
I'm with
thoughts
you on
about
that,
it.
though.
I don't want to lie. Your authenticity is all you have in this business, right? So I sit here and say, oh, it's a great game. I've heard it's a great game.
I don't know if it is personally, but if I went by what other people say, I would think it's a good game.
But plenty of times people have told me something's a great game and I haven't enjoyed it. And plenty of times people have told me something's a bad game and then I went in and loved it. So
The beauty of individual opinion.
yes. So I definitely have to check out Fisherman's Tale. Like I said, with the sequel coming, how can I not? But anybody who enjoyed the first, now you're having the sequel coming soon.
Part
2.
2.
So we'll definitely check that out, like I said, in the lead up to it coming out. As a part 2 of last week's news as well, we had talked about Pico doing some layoffs and then Tencent, a Chinese hardware manufacturer, pulling out of the XR industry kind of in the sense that they were laying off all of their XR staff. I think it was like a couple hundred people or something like that. And I was like, oh, maybe they'll partner with ByteDance and release hardware there. Kind of, but not really. They are doing a partnership. They're not completely pulled out of the XR industry. They're just not doing anything in-house themselves.
Yeah, third party. No.
Yeah, now they're going to partner with Meta to bring the Quest to China because it's not in China right now. It's blocked because, Facebook's blocked in China. So why would there be a Metaquest there, right? But with the partnership of Tencent, they'll be able to get it in there. And I'm like, wow.
No,
That's huge.
That's a big market.
Huge.
Yep.
Huge, especially if it's being brought in with a reliable manufacturer there, with a good reputable brand name like Tencent to the, the local consumer.
One could say if it wasn't for them, they wouldn't be able to get.
No, that's exactly what's going on.
You got to you got to already have your foot established in that door in concrete.
And you can't be worried about all right, I could see somebody being like, well, we can't do this because then they're going to backwards engineer it. Then they're going to release it their own. Cue Pico. They already do that. They don't need to have it. It's already been done.
Old news.
Yeah, so they got nothing to lose with that, I mean, hell, so what I thought was going to be a huge win for ByteDance and Pico ended up being a huge win for Meta, and then somebody actually informed me on Twitter that apparently ByteDance and Tencent aren't exactly the most friendly with each other companies. I guess they're a little bit of rivals. I don't know. I just assumed.
It's 10 cent, 50 cents, 50 Because every time you say that, I'm like, 50 cent.
Yeah. It's funny, actually.
His fifth child is known as 10 cent. They got 20 cent, 30 cent, 40 cent, capping it at 50 cent.
No, but I think that's huge. How crazy is it that Meta's getting into Pico's market before Pico got into Meta's market of North America?
Well, if politics were to play out the same in China, then you can bet your ass there'll be no Meta in China. But for whatever reason, that political side, because I mean, if I were on the Chinese side, I might make the same argument that look, this headset, it knows where I am. It knows what I'm doing. It's like you could make, half a dozen arguments that you could probably make with Pico, but for whatever reason, they're being accepting of our technology and we're not of Pico. It's just weird to me because it's like,
I think it was generally accepted by, U.S. intelligence communities. And everybody's pretty much on board with the Huawei ban being a net positive thing. And I think that's exactly why Pico, I've said 100 times, I think that's why they haven't gotten to North America yet. They don't want to get Huawei'd. It's a verb now. You don't want to put out your hardware in North America and then have bipartisan support to have your entire hardware banned.
Yeah, and I think with technology nowadays, you could take a toaster and probably rig it to control.
Yeah, I mean, but
to control something. So it's like
I can just imagine the news articles if Pico launched in North America right now. We're at a point where pretty much every state has banned TikTok on government employees. Even the EU is doing it now.
I mean, not for nothing though. I don't want to go into TikTok and see like a senator or a congressman.
You shouldn't have TikTok on your government phone. I agree with that.
Posting videos. It's like, I'd really like to see, you know what I'd like to see? A live cam of you sitting in your office fucking working.
Yeah.
You know, I'll take that all day. Put that on TikTok.
Yeah, that's what I've always thought.
If you've
got
time to be sitting there, you get the hell out of here.
Yeah, why is that on your government phone?
Yeah,
government provided phone.
It? Yeah, exactly.
So
like, what do you need it for?
Yeah.
What rhyme or reason do you need it on your phone?
Yeah.
For?
No, I agree on that 100%. That's always been the funny part of the article to me. It's like,
but I wish Pico could be sold in North America, because I think it's another opportunity for
the consumer to have
another
another
headset. Janky headset. I've heard there's minor issues, but there's minor issues with all technology when it comes out. So it's like, I just like to see that whole fair.
Well, and if any of the issues are software, that can get fixed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like
and it would kind of light a little bit of a fire. Not that Meta's dragging ass, because they're not, but it would give that, I think, better sense of, you know, oh, we're going to have to kick it up a notch because we now have Pico, who basically has the Pro and the Quest 2. So, you know, the onus is on them to kind of always outperform but that just isn't happening.
Yeah. No, I'd be interesting to see.
International servers will never be so much fun now.
I'm convinced that that's the only reason Pico hasn't expanded yet. You know, exactly what I said before, but it's cool to see Meta hitting that new market, because who wins in that? Us playing
the
multiplayer.
Consumers.
Yeah, 100%. The more people owning headsets, you know, the more money developers are making, the more active users
the
are
higher
online.
they can charge for the games. It's going to be great. The trickle down to the consumer is going to be just fucking phenomenal.
No, I think if VR is one of the few industries I've seen that, you know, developers make more money, the product gets better. You know, you look at like...
Go figure that concept, right?
Well, hey, you've lived long enough and I've lived long enough to know that's not the case all over the world. You know, with every business and every industry.
Oh, God, no.
People take their money and ride off to the sunset, and their product diminishes over time.
I think when I was like 17, someone explained what planned obsolescence is. And I'm like, had that like deer in the headlights, like, that's a fancy word. And I go, what does that mean? And they're like, it's when you kind of make something that never intended to live past, let's say, like 3 years, you know? And it's like that joke, like, how come it seems like when my warranty expires, my shit breaks? It's like,
because it does.
It's kind of designed that way. We made you feel good for 2 years, though, didn't we? But it's just dirty that like some companies will plan that into their product of like, well, I don't want it to, like car manufacturers.
Well, hey,
you don't want to build a car that lasts 20 years.
Swords of Gargantua tried to do that and be like, well, at some point in time, our game's going to die. We're pulling the plug. And you look at that pullback, you know, it doesn't work in VR. And then on the other side, it's like you look at the companies that have made a lot of money, you know, the top selling games like Walkabout Mini Golf, like Beat Saber, like Golf Plus. They continuously put out better and better and better quality content.
They reinvest in their business.
Even Synth Riders just got a Gorillaz pack. Remember the band Gorillaz from like the early 2000s? You know, they got the 2 songs with the, you know, the lighthouse in the music video. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh no, they did the cartoons as their videos. Yeah.
Dude, come on. That
was
the
big thumpy fingers. Yeah, no, Gorillaz they've got some good. I mean, for electronic music, it's not bad.
Yeah, so if you know, developers have a new market to sell to with a bunch of Chinese users and they're making more money, I don't think we're going to see the games go up in price like you joked. I think we're just going to see.
No, I was just telling jokes.
Yeah, I think the content is just going to get better and better. And
Although
better. Now I wonder if there would have been enough users to not kill Echo VR.
No. I'm not touching that. The passion from the Echo VR community is just like not worth fucking with.
They're passionate, man.
Yeah.
I'll check on that.
I've had a few conversations.
When I'm pulling up our Patreon subscribers to shout out in a minute, I'll also pull up their current, the petition count, see how that's doing.
That's pointless.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, nothing's happening. They're killing
pointless.
It's dead. The head's been chopped off. It's bleeding. It'll be dead.
The only thing they
August.
could do is take the petition count and add a $10 per signature package on that, and then just buy the thing outright. Other than that, it's like who cares? I'm talking about the petition. That is.
Yeah.
It's not. You know, really. I mean, you're saving
You're not
the
saying
world.
who cares. Echo VR people, please don't.
You're out
don't
here
get
saving
me.
the world by signing a VR petition for a video game. It's just a tough sell.
Yeah. No, and they sounded pretty like they made up their mind. It was, it was good. So maybe I'll skip over the petition, but since I just mentioned it, let me take the moment to shout out our Patreon peeps. These are the ones getting the shout out are the one that's in our Discord tier, which also comes with on-air shout out. So, in that tier, which you can find our Patreon link in our show notes, where you can also find our Discord link, to join an ever-growing and fun community. But we have a couple different tiers in our Patreon. And one, like I said, comes with an exclusive Discord chat and an on-air shout out, every week. And also in that exclusive Discord chat, trying to get better with, we're starting to do exclusive giveaways. So we have some keys to give away for some games that, anybody who follows us on social media, you'll see we run giveaways that are open to the public. Anybody can enter. But these are giveaways exclusive for the members in that Discord channel. So the people in our shout out here, we have Amelia, we have Crispy, and we have Shoes. So thank you 3 for the the support. That's huge. It helps us keep the lights on, helps us keep the show going. And like I said before, you can also find the Discord link in our show notes where you don't have to pay to get in. It's free, it's open to the public, and I don't know, that's
And if you don't want to shout out and you're in that
tier,
section, you can just say don't
shout
say
me
my
out.
name.
I want to support you, but I don't want to shout out. What do I do?
I think Crispy threw my base a beating in Barbaria. I forgot to ask him about that.
Really? What, did you see it in your list?
Yeah, when I signed in, it didn't say, like, it just said Crispy. And I'm like,
Did you watch it?
man, I got my ass kicked. And I've yet to, our scores are not matched up enough that I see him on the 3-player beat my ass board.
Mm-hmm.
So
'Cause that's where it
I
counts.
keep looking for him. Yeah, there was one guy who threw me a beating and he lost. And then two games later, I see him pop up on the board.
So you beat his ass again?
Yeah, two for them. But since it's based on like how well your base defends and how well it's so you get those 2 variables to always play with.
It's no guarantee you're going to see them on the leaderboard.
Nope.
Or not in the leaderboard, on the list. And in Barbaria, you can
somebody else. I can't freaking remember his name.
And
He got beat twice.
but you can search people.
I
and,
have to find out if Crispy's the one who paid my base a visit.
Yeah, because I wish you recorded the video. You say it's bad.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, I mean, basically, if you beat someone's base, you obviously did something right. So, just the fact that I went in there and saw I was like, oh, I hope my base stood up. No, it got served.
And just like we said it in our review of it, you can search people in that like playground area, but that doesn't count for anything.
No, you can just tell
Beat
your
on him
buddy
for
you
fun.
just, like, be lucky you're not on the board.
But you're saying he attacked you for points. He attacked you ranked style where it counts.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He took like 13 of my.
I remember the Gods of Gravity update too. They added a ranked mode. There we go.
Okay.
Simple feature. I'm sorry for throwing that in, but
just filtered into the brain.
oh my goodness, it had left me before I was talking about it, and I'm like, why am I bringing this up when I know I forgot? And then boom, it just hit me like lightning.
Because
So,
we were talking about fun games.
hey, Gods of Gravity is a lot of fun. Oh, you're saying that's why I remembered?
Yeah.
Okay, I understand now. I got a little defensive there, man. We got our ass kicked in one campaign mode, and the game sucks.
Oh no.
We got our ass kicked last night.
Yeah, but out of fairness,
It was a campaign mode that didn't have both the planets to start.
no. So I'll avoid those.
Yeah.
For true campaign, we'll still, we can still play the 2-player or whatever, but
We went into it instantly disappointed in that one. We
should just stop.
We got our ass kicked. Yeah, for 20 minutes we fought off. We basically held the front, fought them off.
I stood at a broken planet. Like literally.
Hey, but I will say because of that one, we've gotten really good at repairing planets. I really fully understand how to do it now.
Yeah. Don't press the A button.
yeah. You're again so stupid.
It's only because the A button made a sound that I assumed it was doing something.
Yeah,
I
no.
didn't know.
That's what I thought too, but no, you go over to the planet that's destroyed with.
Oh man, you're gonna spoil it. Make people earn it.
Okay.
Because you play somebody online, if they don't know that,
That's a good point.
you're
Especially
destroying
because
planets.
there's a ranked mode now too.
And there's a big difference between letting that planet just rebuild on its own, or you.
Okay, so the spoilers that you have is you don't press A, and you go over to it and
And you do something.
yeah,
Do a little something.
so,
something.
and then but just know that we were messing up. We were messing up hard. So yeah, I got our ass kicked last night in Gods of Gravity. We've had better days, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
So
Still great though.
something that I feel like I might have talked about last week, and I can't fully remember if I did actually bring it up. So I apologize. I'll kind of gloss over it real quick. Pico, they're now Open XR compliant, which basically just means it's a kind of global standard for VR hardware to follow that makes it easier for developers to port over their games to Pico. So kind of to your point, you want to get your grubby old hands on a Pico headset pretty bad, I know. And now anybody that does have Pico, they can expect to see some more ports coming now with that change.
Yeah, I hope Pico survives the storm. And what actually really concerns me is that, like, all truth be told, that Meta is going to step into their backyard, and no matter what, they're going to sell headsets.
Oh, they're going to hand them a beating.
And they're going to, yeah, that's,
They're going to hand them a beating.
so
They know it, too.
If they can weather the storm, then they'll be all right.
Mhm.
But it's going to be a storm. It's going to be a very interesting year when those headsets start dropping out there.
Yeah, the people who secured that deal with Tencent left that meeting with everything signed with their smile, cheekbone to cheekbone in excitement. They win so hard in that deal. It's going to be interesting
Yeah,
to see.
Pico has
Your sympathy?
my sympathy right now.
Yeah.
I picture they weren't as excited to hear this,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know.
They probably wish that they weren't rivals with Tencent.
I mean, let's be honest. Meta's got a lot of money, and
a lot of money willing to be diverted to VR investment. More
and
importantly,
they're going to open up in China,
Mhm.
dude. Even if part of the agreement is 100% of the headset has to be built in China, it doesn't matter. The revenue, big portion of that revenue is coming back to Meta. So it's,
so much of their headsets already manufactured, like the internal
Damn.
parts, all of it's made.
dude, everything's manufactured in some degree.
So if anything, it'll freaking save them money not needing to ship stuff back over.
Yeah.
It's already where it's being
Oh, yeah.
manufactured anyway.
It's a win for everybody,
And kind of on the Pico news,
except Pico.
Demio, a game that's out on freaking every platform at this point. It's even on PS5. It's on PSVR as well, like PlayStation VR too. But it's
The
also
flat
on.
screen,
It's
yeah.
also on PS5. It's on flat screen computer. Obviously, it's on the Metaquest. That's where we've always enjoyed Demio. And Demio obviously is on Pico as well. Demio's kind of thing that they love to do is that they're cross-play on all systems, including flat screen PlayStation 5, PC VR. So, I'm sorry, I meant, well, obviously PC VR, but like flat screen PC as well. So you could play with your friend who just has it on Steam, flat screen, no VR, and you have a VR headset. That's freaking cool. But unfortunately, previously the Pico version was the only system that didn't have crossplay on it. And now with a new update, they have finally rolled out crossplay to Pico. And I'm wondering if that has anything to do with the Open XR compliancy, which is mainly why I brought it up. If I did bring it up last week or not, it's like, it's interesting that news comes out and then all of a sudden games crossplay. But nonetheless, so that was kind of a quick one. There's a couple meta updates in the sense that, we had talked about it last week with the direct touch panels coming. So, the Touchy Touch update came where you can now, type on a keyboard with hand tracking or just, use your fingers to select the menus. But also in that, they added the ability to open up a browser inside of your headset app. So you can be in an app. Previously, you went to go open up the Oculus browser. It would close the entire app and you'd have to switch over to that. Now you can kind of overlay the browser inside the app. So boom, you need to search something real quick. Doesn't need to close out the whole app just to get to. That's pretty big.
Oh yeah, especially if you want to cheat on a game. Just stop
I didn't
it right
think of
there.
that. I didn't
pull
think
up
of
the
that.
app, be like, all right, how do I get past level 3?
Didn't think of that.
Yeah.
But there's been
sad that's the first thing
there's been times in apps.
can you watch porn on it?
Why not? I'm sure.
Well, no, I'm just being serious. Like, play a game and have split screen.
Have
or
all
little-
the thrills
little
going
porn
on.
window. Yeah.
There's been
The
times,
true thrill of the fight.
There's been times that games have links to it in their game
Mhm.
that I click and it opens up an Oculus browser. But like what sucks about that is it closed my app, you know? It's happened to me on a few games, especially with like sign up processes and stuff like that. So with this, boom, it makes that so much easier. You know, you don't need to switch between apps. You can just boom, open up. I didn't even think about it for cheat codes, but you know, I guess so. Or not cheat codes, but walkthroughs and all that stuff.
Yeah, just on the spot. You know, I'm not going to rough it out type of thing.
And then they also say in their latest update that they reduced the Quest Pro controller boot up time. So like that was something I saw a lot of people on the Metaquest complain about. On the Metaquest Pro was the amount of time it takes to actually get your controllers to boot up, and now that's significantly reduced. What an odd thing to have as a complaint. Not that it's odd to complain about.
You know what though?
No. I mean, that's a legit
If that's
complaint.
the only, I mean, it is, but if that's the worst you got is like, oh, you know, you got to wait like 10 seconds for your controllers
That
to
just
come
seems
on.
weird to me to have to do, though. I don't know. I felt like
These are people that never turned on an old computer before and had to wait like 20 minutes for the thing to boot up just to have like a DOS-based system, you know? Like, dude, I had to wait 10 seconds. This is unacceptable. But no, I would be at that same boat too. I'd be
Well,
like,
'cause I
it's
think the
weird because my
Quest-
headset's on, but my hands aren't working.
well, because the Quest 2, I don't think there's any type of boot up time.
No, they vibrate the minute the load screen starts.
Yeah,
Bzz,
so
bzz,
I felt
like as it's loading in.
I don't know. It just felt like weird to hear that there was a long time. I was like, oh wow, that's something I would have thought that they had pretty ironed out.
Yeah, tied into the boot screen, you would think.
Because of how quick the Quest 2s are to boot in, but apparently that's reduced. So that's a pretty good
That's a
quality
big
of
one.
update.
Yeah,
And then
it's legit.
there's also something that we've observed, you know, as users for quite a bit that always felt broken with that the Metaquest headset, in that, you know, we would leave our headset plugged in charging, turn it on, and then there's like every single app that you need to have updated would be initiated updating as soon as you turned on the headset. And I don't know if any of you have ever tried to update 20 apps at once on your headset. It freaks the fuck out. It doesn't like it. Everything runs janky. It's hard to even get the apps to stop downloading. Like, it's a mess. Apparently, what's supposed to happen is that they're already supposed to have been downloaded in that time. And then when you put it on, you know, your app's downloaded and fresh to go. So it's like if you leave your headset charged, fully charged and plugged in, then it'll start the download. And then boom, you put on the headset. Now you can enjoy the game. But like I said, instead, what would happen is it wouldn't initiate the download till you actually put on the headset. Apparently, with the next software update, this is going to be fixed to function properly. I've always just found it to be a mess of a feature as like a user. It's like I get the idea of trying to want everything to be updated properly, but god damn it messes everything up.
Yeah, no, that's a good update.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want it updating anything unless I tell it to.
Yeah.
So when I sign onto my headset and the shit's like telling me you've had like 7 things updated and things I've uninstalled, reinstalling, I'm like, cut it out. Then you got to go back and stop the queue on every single one that it's.
and it doesn't always work properly, even
No.
stopping the queues.
No,
How many times have we been in
I'm
game and
happy about it.
something's not functioning properly, and it's not because there's anything wrong with the game, it's
No,
just
something's downloading.
and you had no idea.
You can hear it in the party chat talk
Yeah.
right off the bat. It gets all staticky.
Oh, here comes the podcast, Pooch. He's probably-
Staticky and janky. But no, I think that's a good update.
Yeah, no, it's simple stuff.
I'm
like
glad
that.
they recognize it, that it's something that needs to be fixed.
So that's just about all it I got on the news. Anything else you want to throw out there today?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I know. So we can kind of talk about it a little bit. Sony just had their release of the PSVR 2. It's hard for us to comment on how it feels, how it plays, or anything, because unfortunately, no PS5s or new PlayStation VR 2. I've heard overall positive things. I'm hearing that there's some people with some issues with controllers, like they're in game, the controller's not working.
Enough that it's a known issue.
Yeah, it's a known issue, but that sounds like software, so it's probably something that'll get fixed. I'm on the boat that, something new should work fresh out of the box. That's kind of part of a nice consumer
It
experience.
helps.
But it
doesn't make me want to run out and get one knowing that there's a 50-50 that
I don't
controller's not going to work.
I don't think it's anywhere close to 50-50. I think it's an extremely
No, I'm saying like
small.
those are what my odds would feel like.
Yeah.
If I were to buy one right now
Yeah.
at the store and brought it home, I wouldn't be sold in my head it's going to work.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I don't know what my odds really are, but I feel like it would be 50-50 that this thing's even going to work.
Yeah. So the report level hasn't been that high, but with my luck, it's like 75% chance I'd get it done because I have bad luck. But overall, it seems like a very small percentage of users reporting any issue. But like you said, enough that it is a known issue. But I'm hearing overall good things. I'm of the believer for the same reason that you want to see Pico on North America. I just like seeing hardware have good releases. HTC's is coming out in March. A user on our Discord got one. I'll be interested to hear some opinions there. I support it all. So I hope PSVR sells a bunch. I hope HTC, I hope they sell a bunch. I hope Pico's able to make it to North America and they don't get Huawei'd. They don't get their head chopped off. But yeah, other than that, nothing else really on the list for news. So I think we're going to wrap this baby up. And then Wednesday, we got a good review of Per Asperia. I think that's how you pronounce the game.
I was calling it Asperia.
Asperia, Per Asperia.
Per Asperia.
It needs to have one of those phonetic spell outs underneath it.
This is when you're going to realize that what we think are E's are really just 3 hash marks.
Oh, I'm going to look at this closely before we actually record the review dedicated to it. But it's an awesome real-time strategy game in VR. So stay tuned for that. And other than that, enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.